Boom, package. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know I have been on a mission to get this package. The address was apparently wrong, even though it says it clearly on here, my address. For some reason, it didn't arrive. So I've been on a mission trying to find the postal depot, found it, and I had to cycle back in the boiling, sweltering heat with my package. So I'm gonna open this because I'm so excited to see what's inside. I know the point of this video is to see the best area of Seoul to live in. So if you don't want to see what's inside the box because you're a bit of a loser, you can skip ahead to this time here and get involved with the video of the best place to live in Seoul. However, if you want to see what's inside the box, let's open it up. Ooh, saucy. I just hit myself in the chest with a big Chinese knife. I'm gonna share with you some useful information whilst I'm opening this box. To send a package from Korea to England, which weighed about 2 to 3 kilos, cost 60,000 won, so it's not cheap. And I know this package to get sent here was about 45 pounds. So, and this weighs 3.2 kilograms. So sending packages to and from Europe to South Korea is a bit pricey. So let's hope the contents of this are worth the cost of sending it. Voila. Oh baby. Oh baby. Oh, walking boot. We've got a Spain badge for some reason, thank you. 2 boots. All right, 2 boots. All right, let me show you something. This is a PlayStation 4 controller, which is perfect because me and Joseph have a PlayStation 4. So look, ding, 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 PlayStation 4, there we go, amazing. I also asked my mum to send me FIFA. So I can play it on the PlayStation 4 with Joseph and Rafi and Tom. They can come over on the weekend, play some FIFA, great. This is what she sent me. That is absolutely fantastic. Most of you will probably understand why this is funny, but just to our mum and anybody else that doesn't understand, this is Xbox, which is a different console. I have the PlayStation. I have the PlayStation 4, which was released in 2019. The Xbox was released like 20 years ago. So this is for a console that's 20 years old. I don't think this is of use to anybody in the world. I don't think I could even sell this on eBay. I'll put the Spain badge and the FIFA 2003 together over here. Yeah, boy! We've got a new fanny pack because my fanny pack got burnt in a fire. Perfect. Oh boy! We've got some beard oil. And then here we've got, oh my god, look at the size of that flapjack. Wow! In Korea, they don't have flapjacks. How crazy is that? Flapjacks don't exist in South Korea. I'm gonna pop on my new Merrell walking boots. We're gonna take a walk around Sangsu. I'm gonna compare this area, where I live now, to Hongdae, where I used to live. They're 2 completely different areas. I'm also gonna talk about other areas you could live in, like Itaewon or Hongdae or Jamsil. Look at prices and just have a general chit chat about the best area to live. And we'll also ask my friends for their opinions because they live in different areas. So let's get to it. FIFA 2003. It's in the game. FIFA Football 2003. EA Sports It's in the game. Seoul has 25 districts. The Korean word for district is gu, and inside each gu is a dong. Dong being the Korean word for neighborhood. I used to live in Sincheon-dong in Sodaemun-gu, but now I live in Sangsu-dong in Mapo-gu. And as you can see from the map, I've moved closer to the Han River. And here it is, only 5 minutes walk from my house. Is this area better than the one I used to live in? And what's the best area of Seoul to live in 2021? Let's find out. But first, I'm going to tell you what area you don't want to live. If you want to come to Korea and enjoy Seoul, especially on the weekends, you're definitely not going to want to live in somewhere like Dongtan or Songdo. Sorry Rafi, because I know this from experience. Rafi's an English teacher. He was living in Dongtan for a year, and every weekend it took him an hour and a half on a Friday night to get to Seoul. And on a Sunday, after a heavy weekend, he'd have to take the dreaded journey back to Dongtan, and he kind of hated it. And also, sometimes on a Friday, if it's a holiday, you're going to be waiting ages for a bus. You might even have to take a train, which could take longer. And now he lives in Songdo, which is in Incheon. It's the same again. He has to take 2 buses to get to our house. If you're wanting to come to South Korea and enjoy Seoul, especially on the weekends, don't live too far away, because it's going to be such a pain in the bottom to get here on the weekends. So here's my recommendation. If you're a young person, you want to have some fun, live closer to Seoul. If, however, you're a family person or you're not that interested in socializing all the time, an area outside of Seoul like Dongtan or Songdo will be better, because it'll be a lot cheaper as well than living closer to Seoul. Now, which area in and around Seoul is the best to live? Let's find out. Here's some top tips from Pirate Dan. Number 1, find an apartment that's close to the subway. And if you can find one that's close to the Green Line, line 2, it's going to reduce your travel time around Seoul greatly. The Green Line passes through all the popular neighborhoods in Seoul, like Gangnam, Jamsil, Hongdae, Seoul National University, City Hall. So if you can find one that's just over the road from that, or pretty close, it's going to make your life a lot easier. Where I used to live last year in Sincheon was just over the road from the Green Line. It was a dream come true. Now where I live in Sangsu is on the Brown Line, which means when I go underground, I have to change quite frequently. However, I much prefer living in Sangsu than I did in Sincheon, because I kind of lived on the border of Sincheon and Hongdae. I always called it Hongdae, even though it was technically Sincheon. So I'm going to continue calling it Hongdae, because I felt like I lived in Hongdae. When I left my house in Hongdae, it's busy. As soon as I left the apartment, there's people everywhere. You're near a major road, so it's always busy. All the bars and restaurants are always full of people. There's constant nightlife, and there's always something to do. However, Sangsu is a lot quieter. It's more of a family neighborhood. There's lots of nice little cafes and bars, whiskey bars, LP bars, that kind of neighborhood. It's also very close to the Han River, as you've seen earlier, and if we want to go to Hongdae to have a drink, it's only 10 minutes walk away. So I do prefer living here because it's quieter, especially in the week when I'm not doing anything, I'm just editing videos. But when it comes to the weekend, it's easy to get to Hongdae. So I would recommend living in an area similar to Sangsu. Nice and quiet, close to the Green Line, or easy to access the Green Line, but still close enough to a popular area where you can go and have fun. That's the first top tip. The second top tip, don't do what Tom did. Tom rented an apartment for 6 months in Ide, which is near Ewa Women's University, which again is basically in Sincheon, and his apartment is at the top of a small mountain. So every time he wants to get to the train, he has to walk pretty far. I'd say it's about 1 to 2 kilometers. And imagine a long day of hiking around the city or going to work. You come home, you get off the train, you just want to go home. Whereas for Tom, he has to hike up this small mountain, which sounds like a ball ache. But that probably explains why he has an electric skateboard. We're living in the future, baby. Tom, what's the best area in Seoul to live?
For me, as a student, Sinchon or Hongdae.
Are you happy that you live at the top of a mountain?
No.
Where are you going to move to when you move next?
Somewhere that's not at the top of a mountain. It can be sort of the same distance from Sinchon or Hongdae. It doesn't have to be like right dead in the center. It just has to not be on top of a mountain.
How much was your deposit and rent?
My deposit was about £3,000 and my rent is $450, including all bills. Yeah,
really?
$451, yeah.
But it's going to go up in August.
It's going to go up to $550, but that's when I move out.
Now, Mickey, as a Korean person, what's your opinion of the best area to live in Seoul?
To me, it always has been Daewhan.
Near Dongdaemun.
Yeah, a little upper north to the north.
Which university's there?
Samgyungan University. My first place, Bojunggung, was 30 grand.
Wow. As a student?
Yeah.
30 grand?
Yeah.
$30,000?
3천만.
What?
And the monthly bill was 25. So 25 is cheaper than usual, right?
Yeah, that's very cheap.
That was because deposit was pretty high.
So if you want to live in a popular student area, the deposit is huge.
And that was very close to the campus. I could go to the campus in 1 minute, literally.
And now you live in Incheon.
Yes.
Do you like living in Incheon?
Yes, I love it. So for me, I live in Yeongjong-do. It's an island where you have Incheon Airport.
Mm-hmm.
The best thing is that I am able to enjoy high quality housing with really reasonable price.
Yeah.
For now, my place costs 10 grand of deposit and I pay 25 of monthly bill.
Oh, that's
but
really
it's
cheap.
way better than student one room. This is office town, so you have everything inside. I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
It was built just 2 years ago, so
it's clean.
yeah.
And you have all like the recycling for the waste in the basement.
Yes, and parking space in the basement too.
And I guess now you have a car, then it makes it easier to get to Seoul. So
yeah, it's a deal for me. Fair deal for me.
all right. We hope you've enjoyed their perspective. On to the next point. Here's a graph on the South Korea house price index. Over the past 20 years, you can see it's been going up, up, up and away. In the last year of 2020, there was a sharp increase. Let's check it for the last year. And you can see here, there's some numbers going up. It goes from 103.3 all the way to 116.6. And that was in July of 2020. And it just keeps going up. What are the numbers on the side? It says 102, 104 to 118. What do they mean? This is probably the reason I make YouTube videos and I don't trade on the stock market. I've got no idea what those numbers mean, but I can see the line is going up, which means the prices are going up. So, if you want to invest in property, why am I giving you property advice? Idiot. You're probably wondering how much me and Joseph pay for the deposit and the rent of this swanky apartment that we live in. I've made a tour video of this apartment. There'll be a link to that at the end of this video, so go and watch that. Now, I'm gonna go down to the Han River where I'm gonna tell you some other places that you could live in Seoul. Hey, it's Pirate Dan down here at the Han River, and I've come to tell you about an area that you might want to live in if you're gonna come to Korea and be an English teacher. There's actually two areas. The first one is Itaewon, and the second one is Noksapyeong, also known as HBC. And if you go to these areas, it's mostly populated by Westerners, full of Western bars, lots of places that call themselves pubs, but they're just really a bar. They sell things like fish and chips, full English breakfasts. They play international football games. It's a very Western area. And that's where the majority of the English teachers in South Korea live. Me personally, I don't like that area because it doesn't feel like I'm in Korea when I go there. That's why I enjoy living in Sangsu. I go out my house, I'm surrounded by Korean people, it's really nice. So if you're gonna come to Korea and you want to just be in that kind of environment surrounded by other English teachers and other Westerners, then the best option for you is either HBC or Itaewon. if you come to Korea on a tourist visa and you're here for about a month or 2 months and you're going to rent somewhere, I'm going to tell you my favorite areas in Seoul that I like to visit, and I'm going to tell you them in no particular order. The first one I'm going to start with is Dongdaemun, or the DDP. This is where the huge culture park is, which was designed by the British-Iranian architect. You've also got the Hunjimun Gate, which is one of the 8 gates of protected Seoul. And next to that, you've got Naksam Park, which is a beautiful little walk with great views of the city. It's in a very central place, and you've also got lots of markets around there. And it will be pretty cheap compared to the next one I'm going to tell you about, which is Jongno-gu. This is another popular place for tourists to visit, and probably one of the most expensive areas in Seoul to live, because it's the very central district of Seoul. It's where you've got Gwanghwamun Square, Gyeongbokgung Palace, Doksugung Palace, City Hall. Most of the major attractions are in this district. So if you're going to come here on a tourist visa, that's probably the best area to visit because you're so central to everything. Another good area to visit would be Jamsil, which is over on the east side of Seoul, also on the Green Line, and that's where Korea's tallest tower is. It's 555 meters tall. It's the 6th tallest tower in the world, and is part of the Lotte World Complex, which has also got the world's largest indoor amusement park. So there's lots around the area to do. You've also got Sokchon Lake, and as I said, it's on the Green Line, and I think it's only 4 or 5 stops away from Gangnam. So if you go and stay in Jamsil, you're out of the hustle and bustle of Seoul, but you're close to some popular areas where there's lots of things to do and plenty of fun to be had. My favorite area in all of Seoul is called Cheolsan, and if you're a follower of the channel, you probably know that, because that's the first place I ever visited when I came to South Korea 4 years ago. Is also where I filmed my music video Yosh, and it's a very Korean neighborhood, and it's fantastic because it's about 20 or 30 minutes out of Seoul. It's still very old, it's not gentrified in any way, it's very authentic. There's lots of great restaurants around there, the people are very friendly, and if I could live anywhere in Seoul apart from where I live now in Sangsu, I'd live in Cheolsan. That's my favorite area in all of Seoul. In the comment section below, if you live in Seoul or visited Seoul, let me know your opinion of what is the best area of Seoul to live in. Bloody hell, it's a hot day today. Woo! My tash is getting nice and long. Ooh. That's the end of the video. If you're not already a subscriber, click the red button, turn on the bell. The videos are every Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays at 7 PM UK time. Remember, at the end of this video, you can watch a tour of our apartment if you want to watch that. And if you do like it, like that video. And if you've liked this video, like this video. And in the comment section, let me know, in your opinion, what's the best area of Seoul to live in. In next week's videos, I'm going to go to Hooker Hill with Tom and Mickey in Itaewon, and I'm also going to give you a little update on the corona situation in Korea, because it's kind of spiraling out of control at the moment. And then the third video, I'm not exactly sure. So if you've enjoyed this, click the like button, click the subscribe button, I can't even speak, click the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Yo. 조심해 난 해적다 나는 굳이 like 북한산 나와 머리 없어 빛나리 우는 쌍둥이 얘는 조던이지 김치 감자탕에서 있다